Have you ever found yourself feeling a little weaker, or maybe a bit more forgetful than you used to be? Maybe you wake up in the middle of the night, restless and tired, or you worry about losing your balance and the risk of falling. These little changes can sneak up quietly, and many of us simply assume they're just part of getting older, that inevitable decline everyone talks about. But what if I told you that these signs aren't just normal aging, and there's more going on beneath the surface? It's not just about getting older or moving less. Sometimes these issues are signals your body and mind are trying to tell you something important. Often, these small struggles get overlooked, dismissed as nothing, but they can quietly chip away at your joy and independence. In today's video, we'll explore 10 powerful secrets to help you stay joyful and beat loneliness, even when these challenges try to hold you back. By the end, I'll share the single most important habit that can change how you feel every day. So stay with me. Let's discover together how to embrace joy and connection in this beautiful stage of life. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Secret 1. Maintain social connections. It happens so quietly, almost without notice at first. The days get longer, the house seems quieter, and you realize that the phone doesn't ring as much as it used to. Maybe old friends have moved away, or you've lost touch over the years. Family members get busy with their own lives. The neighborhood that once buzzed with children's laughter and block parties now feels strangely still. You find yourself eating dinner alone more often than you'd like, or watching TV just to fill the silence. Sometimes you think, well, this is just how things are at my age. Everyone gets a little lonelier as they get older, right? It seems like such a normal part of growing older that you almost accept it as fate. But let me ask you, what if loneliness in old age isn't as inevitable as everyone says? What if you could change it? We often believe that social circles naturally shrink with time, and there's nothing we can do. But new research and real-life stories tell us otherwise. Social isolation isn't just an emotional burden. It can affect your health in surprising ways. Studies from Harvard, the CDC, and the National Institute on Aging have shown that loneliness can raise your risk of heart disease, weaken your immune system, and even lead to memory problems or depression. Being isolated has been compared to smoking 15 cigarettes a day in terms of its health risks. That's pretty serious for something we tend to brush off as just the way it is. Why does this happen? As humans, we are wired for connection. When we regularly talk with friends, laugh, share memories, and even argue a little, our brains release chemicals that help us feel happier and healthier. Social interaction can boost levels of serotonin and oxytocin, the very chemicals that fight stress, support sleep, and even protect your heart. On the other hand, ongoing loneliness can quietly wear down your health, making everyday aches and pains worse, slowing down recovery from illness, and making you feel even more withdrawn. So what can you do to stay connected, especially if it feels like your world has gotten a little smaller? The good news is, you don't need a crowd. Even a few strong connections can make a world of difference. Try picking up the phone and calling an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Join a local group, like a book club, a walking group, or a community gardening project. Many churches, senior centers, and libraries offer programs just for older adults, from art classes to coffee mornings. And if getting out of the house is hard, consider using video calls with family or friends. Learning new technology can be daunting, but even a simple video chat now and then can brighten your day more than you might expect. Let me share a story about Mr. Howard, a retired postal worker from Ohio. After his wife passed away, he found the days growing empty and the silence unbearable. For months, he barely left the house. One day, his daughter suggested he try a local senior coffee morning at the community center. At first, he was hesitant, certain he'd feel out of place. But after that first cup of coffee and a couple of new faces, something shifted. He started going every week. Before long, he was organizing a group to walk in the park on Saturday mornings, and even reconnected with an old friend he hadn't seen in decades. Howard later said, "It wasn't about having 100 friends. It was about not letting myself drift away from the world." If you're feeling isolated, remember, it's never too late to reach out. Even small steps can lead to new connections and brighter days. Loneliness doesn't have to be a given in old age. Permit yourself to connect, to call, to join, and to say yes when someone invites you in. You deserve laughter, conversation, and a sense of belonging at every stage of life. Start with just one call or one new hello, and see where it leads. Your next chapter of friendship could be waiting just around the corner. Secret 2. Volunteer and give back. Sometimes, after retirement, there's an odd, hollow feeling that sneaks in when the busyness of work or raising a family is behind you. Days stretch out, and while the freedom can be a gift, it can also leave a person wondering, what now? How do I fill these hours in a way that means something? For many, there's a quiet ache, a longing to feel useful, needed, and connected to something bigger than themselves. You might look around and see that you have wisdom, time, and kindness to offer, but aren't quite sure where or how to start. Perhaps you've even caught yourself thinking, I wish there was more I could do, but I'm just one person. It's easy to underestimate the power you still hold, even now. But what if those feelings of emptiness or loneliness are invitations? What if giving to others could give you back a sense of joy and purpose you thought was lost? The truth is, science shows that volunteering does far more than help those in need. It transforms the giver as much as the receiver. Studies from the Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins have found that older adults who volunteer regularly enjoy lower levels of depression, better physical health, and even live longer than those who don't. When you reach out to help, your brain releases dopamine, the helper's high, which lifts your spirits, reduces stress, and creates a lasting sense of fulfillment. Why does volunteering matter so much in later life? As we age, our social circles can shrink, and it's easy to feel invisible. But when you offer your time, your skills, or even just your listening ear, you're reminded of your value. You become part of a network, woven into the fabric of your community again. Whether it's reading to children at the library, serving meals at a shelter, knitting blankets for veterans, or supporting a local animal rescue, every act of service connects you to others in ways that money and possessions never could. You might wonder if your efforts matter. The answer is a resounding yes. Take Mrs. Johnson from Oklahoma, for example. After her husband passed and her children moved away, she felt adrift. For weeks, she stayed home, feeling smaller and lonelier each day. But one Sunday, her neighbor mentioned a local Meals on Wheels program looking for drivers. Mrs. Johnson hesitated. She wasn't sure she could handle it, but finally decided to try. That small step changed everything. Delivering meals, she found herself laughing with new friends, swapping stories with other volunteers, and feeling a warmth she hadn't known in years. I thought I was helping them, she said, but really, they helped me find myself again. If you're looking to fill your days with something meaningful, volunteering is a gentle, powerful way to start. You don't have to commit to something huge. Just look for simple opportunities in your area. Churches, schools, animal shelters, and community centers are always looking for caring hands and open hearts. If getting out is tough, there are even ways to volunteer from home, writing cards to soldiers, making phone calls to check on isolated seniors, or helping with online fundraising. Remember, your life experience, your compassion, and your time are priceless gifts. Giving back doesn't just benefit others. It breathes new energy and hope into your own life. Even the smallest act, a smile, a listening ear, a shared afternoon, can ripple out farther than you realize. If you've ever felt your days lack meaning or that you have more love to give, volunteering might be the missing piece. Take a step, however small, and discover the joy that comes from making a difference. one kind act at a time. The world needs what only you can offer, and your golden years can shine even brighter when you give them away. Secret 3. Stay physically active with gentle exercise. There's a moment, maybe in the early morning, when you stand up from bed and feel your joints stiffen, or a hint of soreness in your back or knees. Maybe it's that little gasp you let out as you rise from your favorite armchair, or the way you avoid certain stairs because they seem a bit more daunting than they used to be. If you find yourself moving more slowly, feeling a bit weaker, or growing tired faster than before, you're not alone. Many seniors quietly accept these changes as an unavoidable part of aging, telling themselves, "Well, I'm just not as young as I used to be. Maybe it's time to slow down." If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But what if movement isn't something you have to lose as you grow older? What if gentle, regular exercise could store energy, ease those aches, and even lift your mood? It's a common misconception that aging means you should do less or rest more. In truth, science shows the opposite. Staying physically active, even in gentle ways, is one of the most powerful things you can do for your body and mind at any age. Let's look at what happens when you move. When you take a walk, stretch, or do simple exercises, your muscles strengthen, your heart pumps more efficiently, and your joints get the lubrication they need to stay flexible. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, regular physical activity helps maintain balance, lowers the risk of heart disease and diabetes, reduces pain from arthritis, and even sharpens memory and thinking skills. Gentle exercise boosts the release of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that can melt away stress and leave you feeling lighter and brighter, even on tough days. And here's the best part. Gentle exercise doesn't mean signing up for a marathon or lifting heavy weights. It's about finding what feels right for you. A 20-minute walk around your neighborhood, stretching while listening to your favorite music, joining a water aerobics or chair yoga class at the local senior center. These all count. Even gardening, dancing in the living room, or playing games with the grandkids are wonderful ways to keep moving. The secret is consistency, not intensity. I remember the story of Mrs. Parker, a retired teacher from North Carolina, who once believed her days of movement were behind her. After a minor fall, she became fearful of walking outdoors and spent more time indoors, watching TV. She felt her world growing smaller. But her doctor recommended a gentle Tai Chi class at the community center. At first, Mrs. Parker was hesitant and embarrassed, worried she'd look out of place. But after just a few sessions, she noticed her balance improving and her confidence returning. Soon, she looked forward to seeing her classmates each week. "I thought I was just getting older," she laughed, "but I realized my body was just craving a little attention and care." If you're not sure where to begin, start small. Stand up and stretch your arms overhead, roll your shoulders, or take a gentle walk outside. Listen to your body and honor its limits, but don't be afraid to challenge yourself a little each day. If you have health concerns, ask your doctor for advice on safe ways to exercise. Many communities offer senior-specific fitness programs, from chair exercises to water walking, designed to be fun and safe for everyone. Remember, staying active isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring the body you have and keeping your independence and joy for as long as possible. Every step, every stretch, every gentle movement is an act of care for yourself. So, put on your favorite shoes, open the door, and let your body remind you of the freedom and vitality still within reach. You don't have to do it perfectly. Just keep moving, one day at a time. Your body, mind, and spirit will thank you. Secret 4. Nurture personal hobbies. It's easy, as the years roll by, to fall into routines where every day feels much like the last. Maybe you find yourself sitting by the window, watching the world move by, thinking, "Wasn't I busier before? Where did all those activities go?" So much time used to be devoted to raising a family, building a career, or caring for others, that when the pace finally slows, it's common to feel a quiet emptiness, like life is missing a spark. You might brush off the feeling, telling yourself, "That's just how it is now." But sometimes, beneath the calm surface, there's a longing to create, to explore, to bring color and music back into the ordinary days. But what if that emptiness is an invitation? What if it's your heart's way of saying that joy and meaning are still out there, waiting for you to reach for them? Science backs this up. Research from Stanford and Harvard has shown that people who regularly engage in hobbies or creative pursuits have lower levels of stress, stronger memory, and even better health outcomes as they age. Nurturing a hobby isn't just a pleasant distraction. It's a proven way to keep your mind sharp, lift your mood, and make each day more vibrant. Personal hobbies come in every shape and size, and you don't need special talent or lots of money to start. Maybe you once loved painting, gardening, baking, or woodworking, but somehow those activities faded away when life got busy. Or maybe you've always wanted to learn to play piano, write your family's story, or try your hand at photography. Now is the perfect time. Even small creative acts, like arranging flowers, journaling, or learning a new card game, can bring a fresh sense of purpose and excitement to your routine. Consider the story of Mr. Collins, a retired mechanic from Michigan, who spent his first years of retirement feeling restless and lost. His granddaughter asked him, "Grandpa, what do you love to do?" The question caught him off guard. He realized he hadn't thought about his joys in years. Slowly, he dusted off his old guitar and started strumming again, just for himself at first. Week by week, his living room filled with music, and eventually, neighbors would drop by to listen. Mr. Collins even taught a few local kids to play, building new friendships and filling his home with laughter. "That guitar gave me a reason to get up in the morning again," he said, "and I never thought something so simple could make me feel so alive." If you're not sure where to begin, try making a list of things that have ever made you smile or lose track of time. Think back to activities you enjoyed as a child, or interests you never had time to pursue. Look into community centers, libraries, or online groups. There's a whole world of clubs, classes, and groups just waiting for you. Don't worry about being good at something. The real joy comes from trying, exploring, and letting your curiosity lead the way. It's never too late to start something new or to rediscover an old passion. Giving yourself permission to play, create, or learn again isn't selfish, it's vital. Hobbies can bring you new friends, spark your imagination, and even help you navigate tough times with resilience and hope. So go ahead, pick up that paintbrush, plant a few seeds, bake your favorite pie, or hum a song you love. Let your days be filled not just with routine, but with color, flavor, and joy. Your life is a canvas, and every hobby is a new stroke. Let yourself paint, play, and grow, no matter what chapter you're in. The best time to nurture your passions is always now. Secret 5. Care for mental health. Meditation and mindfulness. Sometimes, the hardest struggles are the ones no one else can see. Maybe you felt it, the restlessness that creeps in during a quiet afternoon, or the worry that seems to circle your mind as the sun goes down. It might be a wave of sadness for no reason, or old memories resurfacing when you least expect them. Some days, sleep is hard to come by. Other days, you feel like you're just going through the motions. It's tempting to shrug it off, thinking, "I'm just getting older. Maybe this is normal." You might even tell yourself to be strong, or not to bother anyone with your feelings. But what if there's a gentler way? What if these moments aren't just a sign of age, but an invitation to care for your mind and spirit as lovingly as you care for your body? Science shows us that mental well-being is every bit as important as physical health, maybe more so. Studies from leading medical centers like the Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins have shown that practices like meditation and mindfulness can significantly reduce anxiety, improve mood, and even help with memory and focus in older adults. It's not about emptying your mind or sitting cross-legged for hours. It's about learning to be present and kind to yourself, one breath at a time. Here's how it works. Mindfulness means simply paying attention to what's happening right now, without judgment. It could be as easy as noticing your breath, feeling the warmth of a cup of tea in your hands, or listening to the sounds in your backyard. Meditation is just a way to gently train your attention. Maybe by closing your eyes and breathing slowly, or by repeating a calming phrase to yourself. These moments help your body turn down the stress response, lowering blood pressure and relaxing tense muscles. Over time, regular mindfulness can make it easier to let go of worries, sleep better, and face each day with a little more calm. If you've never tried it before, it might sound a little strange. That's exactly how Mrs. Turner, a retired nurse from Arizona, felt. After her husband passed away, she found herself anxious, grieving, and unable to sleep. At her daughter's suggestion, she tried a free mindfulness class at the senior center. At first, sitting quietly felt almost impossible. Her mind raced with thoughts. But the teacher encouraged her to simply notice those thoughts and let them float by, like leaves on a stream. With patience, Mrs. Turner began to feel a softening in her heart. Her sleep improved, and even her aches and pains felt less sharp. She said, "It didn't fix everything, but it gave me a safe place to rest my mind, even on the hardest days." If you'd like to try, start simple. Set aside just 5 minutes in the morning or before bed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and notice your breath as it moves in and out. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Just bring your attention back, gently, like you would a dear friend. You might also try guided meditations. There are many free options online designed for seniors. Or practice gratitude by thinking of 3 things, no matter how small, that you're thankful for today. Caring for your mental health isn't selfish or silly. It's a quiet act of courage and love. Remember, your thoughts and feelings matter just as much now as ever. Even in difficult times, you can find small islands of peace by pausing, breathing, and letting yourself simply be. You deserve to feel calm, hopeful, and grounded. With a little practice, mindfulness can help you find joy not just in the big moments, but in the gentle, ordinary rhythm of each day. Secret 6. Foster family bonds. There are some mornings when you catch a glimpse of an old family photo on the shelf, and suddenly the years seem to melt away. The laughter, the holidays, the shared meals, they all feel close, even if those days are long gone. But as time passes, family routines change. The house that once echoed with children's footsteps or teenage music now rests in gentle quiet. Maybe your children have moved across the country for work, or your grandchildren only visit a few times a year. Sometimes, a sense of distance grows, not just in miles, but in understanding. You might find yourself wondering, does anyone know me anymore? Do I still matter to them? It's easy to slip into a quiet loneliness, even when surrounded by the very people you love most. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But what if the bonds of family could grow stronger, no matter how much life changes? What if your role isn't fading, but simply evolving? Research from the AARP and National Institutes of Health shows that seniors who maintain close family ties report higher life satisfaction, better health, and even longer lives. Family isn't just a memory, it's an ongoing story, and you are a vital part of it, no matter your age or circumstance. Fostering family bonds doesn't always mean grand gestures. Sometimes, it's the simple things: a weekly phone call, sending a funny photo or an encouraging note, or sharing a treasured recipe with your granddaughter. Even brief, heartfelt moments can create a sense of belonging and love that lasts much longer than a holiday meal. Sharing your stories, how you met your spouse, the biggest lesson you learned in life, the quirks and joys of your parents, passes wisdom along and helps the younger generation feel rooted. Let me tell you about Mrs. Rodriguez from New Mexico. For years, she worried her grown children were too busy to visit, and her teenage grandson rarely looked up from his phone when he did come by. Instead of waiting for them to reach out, Mrs. Rodriguez started sending handwritten letters to each grandchild, filled with memories, jokes, and even little sketches from her garden. At first, The responses were sparse, a quick thank you or a short call. But over time, her grandson began writing back, sharing his own stories from school. He even started calling her every Sunday, just to hear her voice and tell her about his week. It wasn't about having big family reunions, Mrs. Rodriguez said. It was about finding small ways to remind them, and myself, that we belong to each other. If your family lives far away, technology can help bridge the distance. A simple video call or text message can turn an ordinary afternoon into a joyful connection. Try organizing a virtual family dinner or story time for your grandkids. If you're nearby, invite your loved ones for a walk, a home-cooked meal, or a quiet afternoon sharing old photos and memories. And don't be afraid to express your feelings. Sometimes, just telling your family that you miss them or appreciate them is enough to draw you closer. Remember, family bonds aren't measured by how often you see each other, but by the love, understanding, and memories you share. No matter how life shifts, your place in your family is irreplaceable. You are the keeper of stories, traditions, and wisdom that can only come with time. Take a small step to reach out, forgive old hurts, or simply say, "I love you." These moments of connection, however small, are the threads that keep families strong, even across distance and change. So, cherish the memories, make new ones, and remind yourself, you are deeply loved and needed. Family is a lifelong journey, and your chapter is just as important as any that came before. Secret 7. Keep learning something new every day. There's a wonderful spark that comes with curiosity, a gentle urge to peek behind the curtain, try something unfamiliar, or discover a hidden talent you never knew you had. But as the years go by, it's easy to fall into routines where the days blend. Maybe you catch yourself watching the same TV shows, reading familiar books, or chatting about the same old memories. There's comfort in what we know, but sometimes a quiet longing whispers, "Isn't there more out there? Am I still growing, even now?" Too often, we're told that learning is a young person's game, that after a certain age, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But what if that old saying just isn't true? Research from Harvard and the AARP shows that older adults who keep learning, whether it's a new language, a craft, a dance step, or a bit of technology, enjoy sharper minds, more resilience against memory loss, and even better moods. Lifelong learning isn't about chasing certificates or grades. It's about keeping your mind flexible, your heart open, and your spirit adventurous. Imagine Mr. Billings, a retired firefighter from Pennsylvania, who spent years telling himself he was too old for computers. He missed out on seeing photos of his great-grandkids and felt left behind when the family chatted online. One day, his daughter gifted him a tablet and set him up with a simple online class for seniors. At first, he was all thumbs and mistakes, but he kept at it, laughing at his errors and celebrating small victories. Soon, Mr. Billings was video calling his grandkids, sharing recipes on Facebook, and even learning to play chess online. "I never thought I'd be a student again," he said, "but every new thing I learn makes me feel younger and more connected to the world." Learning something new doesn't have to be complicated or costly. Maybe you're drawn to painting, gardening, cooking a dish from another culture, or solving crossword puzzles. Libraries, senior centers, and community colleges often offer free or low-cost classes just for older adults, whether in person or online. Even simple things, like reading a new genre of book or listening to a podcast, can stretch your mind in unexpected ways. If you feel uncertain or afraid of making mistakes, remember that every expert was once a beginner. The joy isn't in mastering something overnight, but in letting yourself play, wonder, and try. When you challenge your brain with new skills, you're building new neural pathways, helping your memory, focus, and even your mood. Studies show that seniors who regularly engage in learning activities are less likely to develop dementia and more likely to feel happy and fulfilled. Maybe you want to learn how to text, speak a few words of Spanish, knit a scarf, or grow tomatoes on your porch. Start with one small step. ask a friend or family member for help, or look for beginner classes designed for seniors. Embrace the stumbles and awkward moments. They're signs that you're truly living, not just passing the time. So, permit yourself to be curious again. Dust off your dreams, try something new, and celebrate every bit of progress. Learning doesn't end when we leave school. It's the secret to keeping life fresh, exciting, and meaningful at any age. Each new skill, each discovery, is a gift you give yourself, proving that it's never too late for growth. You are never too old to learn, and the world is full of surprises waiting just for you. Secret 8. Take care of physical health. As the years gently pass, you might notice your body sending little signals. Aches that linger longer than they used to, energy that dips sooner in the day, or a cough that just won't quite go away. It's easy to brush these signs aside, thinking, this is just part of getting older, or I've had worse. But beneath those quiet aches and sudden tiredness, your body is trying to tell you something important. Taking care of your physical health isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about giving yourself the best chance to enjoy life fully, with strength, energy, and comfort. You might ask, is it that important at my age? The answer is a heartfelt yes. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that seniors who actively manage their health through balanced nutrition, regular medical checkups, and appropriate activity levels enjoy better mobility, fewer hospital visits, and even improved mood and memory. Taking care of your body can reduce the risks of chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and arthritis, helping you stay independent longer and keep doing the things you love. What does taking care of your physical health look like in everyday life? It's simpler than you might think. It starts with small but meaningful steps. Choosing colorful fruits and vegetables that nourish your body with vitamins and minerals. Drinking plenty of water to keep your cells happy, and avoiding excessive salt, sugar, or processed foods that can cause inflammation and fatigue. Regular checkups with your doctor aren't just appointments. They're moments to listen to your body, catch issues early, and adjust treatments to fit your unique needs. Let me share about Mr. Daniels from Oregon. After a heart scare, he realized he needed to make changes, not overnight, but steadily. He swapped soda for water, started walking around his neighborhood daily, and paid close attention to his medications. With time, he lost weight, his blood pressure stabilized, and most importantly, he felt more confident getting out and about. It wasn't about being perfect, he said, but about being kind to my body every day. Taking care of your physical health also means listening to your body's limits and asking for help when needed. Whether it's joining a gentle exercise class, talking openly about pain, or accepting assistance with daily tasks, these actions show strength and respect for yourself. If you smoke, consider seeking support to quit. Your lungs and heart will thank you. If you're restless, talk to your doctor about safe ways to improve it, because rest is the foundation of healing. Remember, physical health isn't a one-time goal but a lifelong journey. Each healthy meal, each step taken, and each doctor's visit is a loving investment in yourself. You deserve to feel comfortable in your skin and capable in your movements. When you care for your body, you nurture your independence, your freedom, and your joy. So today, start with one small promise: to treat your body with care and respect. Maybe it's a walk around the block, a phone call to schedule a health check, or swapping a sugary snack for fresh fruit. These little choices add up, building a foundation of strength and well-being. Your body carries the story of your life. Let's honor it with kindness, patience, and gentle care. Because good health in your golden years isn't just possible. It's a gift waiting for you to unwrap. Secret 9. Cultivate positive daily habits. Sometimes, it's the little things we do every day that make the biggest difference in how we feel. Maybe you've noticed some days start with a sigh or a worry that lingers longer than you'd like. Or perhaps the same old routines feel a bit dull, and you find yourself stuck in negative thoughts about what's lost or what's hard. It's easy to fall into these patterns, especially as we face changes in health, family, or our daily pace. You might tell yourself, this is just how life is now, or "there's not much I can do about it." But what if changing just a few simple habits could shift your whole outlook, brighten your mood, and bring new energy to your days? Positive daily habits are small actions, thoughts, routines, or choices that build up over time to create a more joyful and resilient life. Scientists who study aging and happiness, like those at the University of California and the Mayo Clinic, have found that seniors who practice gratitude, kindness, and mindful reflection tend to report greater life satisfaction, lower stress, and better mental health. These habits aren't about grand gestures. They're about gently rewiring your mind to focus on what nourishes your spirit rather than what drains it. Imagine Mrs. Ellis, a grandmother from Vermont, who started keeping a gratitude journal after her doctor suggested it to help with her anxiety. Every morning, she wrote down 3 things she was thankful for. Sometimes it was the warmth of her morning coffee, other times a phone call with a friend, or the song of a bird outside her window. Over the weeks, she noticed a shift. Instead of starting her day worrying about what might go wrong, she began to look for moments of joy, however small. "It made me realize," she said, "that even on tough days, there's always something good to hold on to." Building positive habits might also mean setting simple routines that bring comfort and calm. Perhaps it's taking a short walk after breakfast to greet the day, stretching gently before bed to release tension, or practicing a few minutes of deep breathing when stress creeps in. These acts tell your body and mind that you're worth care and attention. Over time, they can reduce feelings of anxiety and improve your sleep and energy. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. You might also consider small acts of kindness, smiling at a neighbor, sending a thoughtful note, or helping a friend with a task. Doing good for others not only strengthens connections but also releases feel-good hormones that lift your mood. It's a beautiful cycle. Kindness creates happiness, and happiness inspires more kindness. If negative thoughts or worries persist, try gently challenging them. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this anymore," pause and ask, "What's one small step I can take today?" Or replace "I'm alone" with "I'm learning to enjoy my own company." It's not about ignoring real feelings, but choosing to give space to hope and possibility. Remember, you don't need to change everything overnight. Start with one habit that feels manageable and meaningful. Maybe it's writing a gratitude note once a day, or taking a few moments to breathe deeply. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. Cultivating positive daily habits is like planting seeds in a garden. With patience and care, those seeds grow into flowers that brighten your life and those around you. You deserve days filled with lightness, hope, and peace. And it all begins with a small choice each morning, to focus on what lifts you and nurtures your soul. Your journey toward joy is in your hands, one positive habit at a time. Secret 10. Seek support when needed. There are times in life when the road feels a little steeper, and the weight a bit heavier. Maybe you've faced a health scare, the loss of a loved one, or a day when the loneliness feels louder than usual. It's natural to want to carry these burdens on your own, to prove to yourself and others that you're strong and independent. After all, you've lived through so much, raising a family, working hard, weathering life's storms. You might think, "I don't want to be a bother," or "I should be able to handle this myself." But here's a gentle truth. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's one of the bravest and kindest things you can do, for yourself and for those who care about you. What if seeking support is really about honoring your own needs and recognizing that none of us are meant to walk life's journey alone? Research from the National Institute on Aging and numerous mental health organizations shows that seniors who reach out for emotional, medical, or social support tend to have better health outcomes, recover faster from illness, and enjoy higher quality of life. Support can come in many forms: talking with a trusted friend or family member, joining a support group, consulting a healthcare professional, or simply accepting help with daily tasks. It's okay to admit when things feel overwhelming or confusing. Sometimes, a conversation with a doctor or therapist can make a huge difference. not only in managing symptoms but also in giving you tools to cope and thrive. Support groups, whether for grief, chronic illness, or loneliness, provide a safe space to share your story, listen to others, and feel understood. And leaning on friends or family for help around the house or errands isn't a burden. It's a beautiful way to deepen bonds. Consider the story of Mrs. Lee, a retired schoolteacher from Washington. After her husband's passing, she found herself sinking into isolation and sadness. For a while, she kept her feelings locked away, afraid to worry her children or seem weak. One day, a neighbor gently suggested she join a local seniors group that met weekly. At first, Mrs. Lee was hesitant, but attending those meetings, she discovered others who had faced similar struggles. Sharing stories and laughter, she felt her spirits lift. She also started seeing a counselor, who helped her find new ways to cope with loss and rebuild joy. Mrs. Lee said, "Asking for help was the hardest thing, but it saved me." If you're wondering where to turn, start small. Reach out to someone you trust, a family member, a friend, or a neighbor, and share how you're feeling. Look into community resources, senior centers, or your healthcare provider for support programs. Remember, professional help is confidential and designed to empower you, not judge you. And there's strength in accepting a helping hand, whether it's a ride to an appointment, assistance with chores, or simply someone to listen. Seeking support is not about giving up, it's about gaining strength. It's about recognizing that your well-being matters deeply and that you deserve kindness, care, and connection. Life's challenges don't define you. How you respond to them does. And sometimes, that response is saying, "I need help right now," and letting others walk beside you. You have already shown resilience throughout your life, and reaching out for support is another powerful chapter in your story. It's a gift to yourself and a reminder that you are never truly alone. Help is out there, and people want to be there for you. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and allow yourself to receive the care you deserve. Your journey forward can be filled with hope, healing, and companionship. One step, one conversation, one caring hand at a time. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to take a moment and reflect on the secrets we've shared today. Simple yet powerful steps that can bring more joy, connection, and meaning to your life. Whether it's reaching out to a friend, trying a new hobby, moving your body gently, or simply caring for your mind with kindness, each action matters. These small choices are not just habits. They are ways to honor yourself and the beautiful life you've lived. Remember, growing older doesn't mean giving up on happiness or feeling isolated. It can be a time of rediscovery, a chance to connect more deeply with yourself and others, to learn, to give, and to receive love in new ways. You deserve to feel valued, joyful, and supported every day. I encourage you to pick just one of these secrets and start today. Maybe send a message to a family member, take a short walk outside, or spend a few minutes trying something new. Little by little, these steps will build a richer, fuller life. Please share in the comments which secret spoke to you the most and what small change you plan to make. Your story might inspire someone else watching right now. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for allowing yourself to embrace joy in this beautiful season of life. If you found this video helpful, please like, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories and tips designed just for you. Remember, you are never alone, and your best days are still ahead.